Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I will be giving you my round 4 NRL tips of 2023. Now last week was an okay week for tipping for me, as I managed to get 4 out of 8 games correct, which comes to 11 out of 24 in total tips for me, so I'm not doing that good, but hopefully I can do better. I've only gotten 3 or 4 tips right for across the 3 rounds I've had so far. But without further ado, let's get into the round 4 tips. Round 4 is going to be one of the more unexpected rounds, as majority of the games can go either way from what we're seeing already in 2023. But without further ado, let's get into the video. And our first game to start round 4 is the 2022 NRL Grand Final rematch between Grand Finalists the Parramatta Eels, who are still without a win, against the Penrith Panthers, who are currently 1-1 at the moment. The Eels are coming off a loss against the Maori Eagles after a 64-point game. Between the two last week, as Eagles just lost 34-30 to Manly. There was no defence in that game at all. It was such an amazing game. Really crazy. Parramatta could have had the chance to win, but unfortunately Manly were just the better team. But give credit to Parramatta. They are there to fight. They are needed and desperate for a win. Guarantee they will get a win eventually. While the Panthers are coming off a bye after they managed to beat my team, the Rabbitohs, to get their first win of the season in round 2 down at Blue Bat Stadium. This is Panthers' first away game of the season as well. Now, in the past 10 encounters, the Panthers have been the more dominant team, as they have won 7 of the past 10 encounters, which includes winning 6 of the past 8 encounters. And for the last 2 games, Para have lost to Penrith, but in the regular season last year, Para beat Penrith twice. So Eels beat Penrith twice, 22-20 and 34-10. So Para have been the more better team in the regular season than the Panthers. But for this game, honestly, I could see it going anyway, and I'm sorry, Parramatta fans, I'll have to back Penrith for this game. Now I think Penrith will win this game 1-12 by, I'm going to say, 6 points. Like Eels, I'll be surprised if the Eels do win. But if the Eels win, I'm going to be the biggest idiot for not tipping Para. But it's been said that Para will go 0-5. I don't think they will, but I could be wrong. So I'm backing Penrith to win 1-12. Our first of 2 Friday night games. The first one kicking off at 6 PM down at Amy Park is between the Melbourne Storm and the West Tigers. Now the Tigers are coming off a loss after almost making a comeback against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs last week. Just losing 26-22, they scored 2 to 3 tries in 5 minutes, or 5 minutes or so, to almost beat the Dogs out there at Belmore Sports Ground. The first time they played there as well. But the Tigers are still without a win, while the Storm are coming off a shocking upset loss against the Titans. Titans won 38-34 up there at Seabus. The first time that Titans beat Melbourne at Seabus Super Stadium since 2013 or so. So a bit of a shocking upset Saturday was for the Storm, but Melbourne are looking to bounce back. Now, in the past 10 encounters between the two clubs, the Storm have been the more dominant team, as they have won, as Melbourne have won 7 of the past 10 encounters, which includes winning 4 in a row and winning 4 of the last 5. And the last time that the Tigers won was back in 2018, which was at Mount Smart Stadium for some reason, where they won 11-10. Now, the last time that the Tigers won in Melbourne was in 2018, so these two played twice in 2018. Tigers last one in Melbourne in 2018, where they won 10 points to 8, and that was a shit game. So, and this will be the first time these two will clash at Amy Park since 2019, as these two have gone to Sunshine Coast Stadium due to the COVID lockdown during the pandemic part of the NRL. But I'm not looking forward to this game. I think for this game, I'll definitely be back in Melbourne. I mean, sure, I could say the Tigers could pull an upset, but I don't think so. So I think Storm will win comfortably, winning 1-12 by 12 points, with a scoreline of 24-12. And the final Friday night game, kicking off at 8 PM here in New South Wales, 7 PM up there in Queensland, is the newest rivalry, the Battle of Brisbane, between the Dolphins and the Brisbane Broncos. Now, the Dolphins are coming off a good win over the Knights, winning 36-20 down there in McDonald Jones Stadium. First time outside of Queensland. I think they played very well against the Knights, despite the Knights having a massive injury toll. And the Broncos are coming off, what can I say, a dominant, or I can say great win over the Dragons, but a dominant win in the last 7 minutes or so of that game against the Dragons. Unbelievable, where they won 40-18. Unbelievable. Now, there is no history between these two, as in stats, as this will be the first time that these two have clashed. It will be the Battle of Brisbane, the newest rivalry in the game. And think about it. Both teams are undefeated. What couldn't be more better to start a new rivalry? Now, Walters has said that this won't be a rivalry. And then the Dolphins CEO claims that this will be better than the Roosters versus Rabbitohs rivalry. I think that's 100% bullshit. I don't know why he said that. It won't be as big as Rabbitohs versus Roosters. I don't know why he said that, honestly. But who do I see winning this game now? This is the only game that I had most difficult tipping for this round. Every other game, it was fairly straightforward. Now, I could tip the Dolphins, go for the upset, and they'll be the only team undefeated alongside Manly if they beat the Rabbits on Saturday, which I'll get to very shortly. Or the Broncos could remain undefeated as well and prove to the Dolphins who's the better team in Brisbane, and they tell them to go back to Redcliffe. Technically Redcliffe is still part of Brisbane or Sunshine Coast or whatever. So I think this will be game of the round, honestly. I could see it going either way, but for my tip, I'm going for the upset. I'm going to tip the Dolphins to win 1-12 by 1 point. That's right, 1 point. Going into golden point with a field goal from Elise Katoa. Or Sean, no, sorry. From Katoa, sorry. With a scoreline of 25-24. I think it's going to be that spectacular game. Now, if the Broncos win, I will not be surprised. But if the Dolphins win, I'll be surprised. Now, this will probably be the game I'll cop the most, saying that Brisbane will win. That's fine, but wait and see what happens on Friday night, mate. Now, the only downfall for the Broncos, the Dolphins, my apologies. Felice Kafisi is suspended for 3 to 4 matches due to a dangerous tackle, high tackle from the clash against the Knights on Saturday, not Friday, last week. But I think Dolphins can prevail. If they can do it without Jeremy or Marshall King, because he's suspended for a game or two, I think they can definitely win this one. So I'm tipping the Dolphins by 1 point with a score of 25-24. Our first of only 2 Saturday games. So for some reason there's no 3 PM Saturday game, but there's a 5:30 and 7:35 PM. I don't understand why there's no 3 PM game, because there's 3 games on Sunday. We'll get to that soon, I guess. So the first game of 2 games on Saturday kicks off. It's another Queensland derby. So all Queensland teams are playing each other for this round, but this time it's the North Queensland Cowboys taking on the Gold Coast Titans up there in Townsville at Queensland Country Bank Stadium, kicking off at 4:30 Queensland time. Now the Cowboys are coming off a disappointing loss against the Warriors, losing 26-12. Of all teams, the Warriors. Wow. While the Titans managed to upset the Storm shocking upset, 38-34, which actually brought to one of the most highest scoring games of all time as well. 72 points in that game. Titans and Melbourne had a similar game a couple of years ago where I think Titans won 38-36 as well, and it's part of the top 5 most combined scores of all time in the NRL. It's interesting. Now, in the past 10 encounters, the Cowboys have been dominating the Titans, as the Cowboys have won 7 of the past 10, which includes winning 10 straight between 2014 and 2020. So, which means Titans have only won 12. So, Titans have only won 3 of the past 15 encounters between them and the Cowboys. Wow. But that's going to probably change this round, as for this game, although I would love to see the Cowboys rebound, from what they look, I mean, they need Scott Drinkwater and Petahiku. Petahiku still out for another round due to suspension. Drinkwater's out for another 2 rounds. So, I'm going to go for another upset here. I will back the Gold Coast Titans to win this game quite comfortable. I think they'll win 1-12 by 8 points with a scoreline of 30-22. So I think it's going to be high scoring, but I think Titans will prevail in this one. This game I might cop a bit from the comments as well. That's fine, guys. It's only my personal opinion. I mean, if the Cowboys win, I'll be a fucking idiot for tipping Gold Coast. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who would tip the Titans, just FYI, guys. Anyways, Titans to win by 8. And the final game, wrapping up Super Saturday, is between my boys, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. Now, last week, Manly managed to beat the Parramatta Eels in a high-scoring affair, only by 4 points, 34-30. So, Manly, one of 3 teams remaining undefeated, will be up to 2 teams undefeated if Manly win this game against the Bunnies on Saturday night. While the Rabbitohs are coming off a very close encounter loss against the arch nemesis, the Roosters, last week. Now, I was at the game. I enjoyed my time at Allianz last week. If you haven't checked out the vlog, go check it out. But the Bunnies, we only just lost by 2 points, 20 points to 18. It was such a great game, but a lot of sloppy errors from both teams in that game. And I'm hoping the boys will bounce back as well this week. Now, in the past 10 encounters between the Bunnies and Manly, Manly have been the bogey side to us, pretty much, as we have won 8 of the past 10 games against Manly, which includes winning 6 straight. So Manly have not beaten us since 2019, and that was at Lauren Lane. Now, this will be the Rabbitohs' first home game of the year, so we finally get a home game. I think the 3 away games to start off with for the Bunnies is completely bullshit. That was unfair, but it is what it is. Now, this is a stat I don't think many of you would probably know. Now, the last time Manly have won at a core stadium against the Rabbitohs was back in 2013, where they won 30 points to 20 to make the grand final against the Roosters that year in 2013. But if you're wondering, the last time Manly won at Accor Stadium was against the Dogs, and that was back in 2020. So Manly have not been doing very well. So they have only won 1 game at Accor Stadium in their past 11 or 12 encounters. That is unbelievable. And their last win against the Bunnies, like I said, was in 2013. Gee, they have a very terrible record at Accor Stadium. I mean, it can work in our favour, but see how Manly's been so far. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for the Bunnies. Now, for this game, obviously, I will back my boys to win this one. Yeah, I know we are 1-2, but we've been very close to winning. We have a plus 1 points differential at the moment, which is insane. So I'll back my boys to win. I think we'll win this game by, I'm going to say by 4 points with a scoreline of 18-14. So, and yes, guys, I will also be attending this game on Saturday night. So I will be I'll be attending my second game of the NRL this year. So stay tuned for the vlog I'm hoping it's going to be better, and I don't get jumped on from behind like I did at Allianz last week, which was pretty funny. But yes, I'll back my boys to win this game by 4. Now, on to the Sunday games. Our first of 3 Sunday games, which our first one kicks off at 2 p.m. Our first 2 p.m. Sunday game, which I thought will be round 6 because daylight savings will be over by then, but that's 2 weeks away. So it's between the New Zealand Warriors and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. And the Warriors are playing their first game of the season back at Mount Smart Stadium. This game will kick off at 2 p.m. Here in Australia, 4 p.m. over there in New Zealand. Now, the Bulldogs are coming off a gusty win over the Tigers last week. The Bulldogs led 26-6 at one point until they just let the Tigers score 16 unanswered points. But the Dogs managed to hold on to secure their second win of the victory. I think a round of applause for the Tigers to catch up and the Dogs, but I think Dogs could have played a lot more better, honestly. While the Warriors are coming off, they're coming off an upset win, an excellent win over the Cowboys up there at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. They won 26-12. Applause to the Warriors. I mean, they've won 2 of their 3 games already so far. I didn't think they would have done this well so far, but I've been proven wrong. So congratulations on the Warriors for improving. They've got an amazing squad. Now, for the past 10 encounters, the Warriors have won 6 of the past 10, which includes winning 4 of the past 5. So the Dogs have never beaten the Bulldogs. But the Dogs haven't beaten the Warriors since 2018. And the last time that the Dogs won in New Zealand was back in 2017, where they won 24-12 at Forsyth Bar Stadium. And then the last time they won at Mount Smart Stadium was in 2012, where they won 32-18 to beat the Warriors. Wow, so the Bulldogs don't really have a good record over there in New Zealand. Now, I know these two played at Mount Smart last year, but the Warriors smashed them. So for this game, I'm going to, even though I think it's going to, you can go either way this game, but I will back the Warriors to win this game. The win 1-12 by 8 points with a scoreline of 28-20. Now, I definitely see the Dogs probably winning this game, but I want to see a bit more improvement from the Dogs. While the Warriors, they were just outstanding, and I'm hoping to see how they will go at their main stadium coming up on Sunday afternoon. But Warriors to win by 8. By 8. Our next Sunday game kicks off at 4 p.m, which takes place at McDonald Jones Stadium between the Newcastle Knights and the Canberra Raiders. Now, the Canberra Raiders managed to pick up their first win of the season last night against the Cronulla Sharks, and they managed to hold off the Sharks 24-20. Impressive win from the Raiders, and they keep their dominant win record against the Sharks for the time being. While the Newcastle Knights, despite having numerous injuries, pretty much the highest than any other team, they did very well against the Dolphins last week, only losing 36-20 there at McDonald Jones last week. Now, in the past 10 encounters, they have won 5 games each, with the Knights winning 3 of the past 5, but the Raiders have won the last 2 encounters. So in the past 10 encounters as well, none of the teams have won more than 2 in a row. Also, with the exception of the Knights, they've won 3 in a row, but Raiders have won the last 2. So for this game, this one's tricky, but due to the injury told to the Knights, I will be backing the Raiders for the first time for this year. So I'll back the Raiders to win this game 1-12. I think they will win by 10 points with a scoreline of 20 points to 10. And the final game to end off the Sunday trilogy and round off round 4 is the rivalry game between the St George Illawarra Dragons and the Cronulla Sharks. The Dragons are coming off a loss against the Broncos, as it was 18-all with about roughly 10 minutes to go, and then out of nowhere the Broncos just scored 22 points out of nowhere for the final 10 minutes. So I'll give Dragons the head up for being a great team against the Broncos until the last 10 minutes. I don't know what the hell happened, honestly, and they want to forget about what happened. While the Sharks are coming off a close loss against the Canberra Raiders down at GIO Stadium, 24-20. They just lost. It was a great game, but the Raiders were the ultimate better team. Now these two have a really intense rivalry between each other, as they are pretty much right next to each other, and the Dragons are known as the little brother. Although the Dragons have got a venue at Wollongong, this is just mainly between PointsBet and the Strata Jubilee Stadium. Now, in the past 10 encounters, the Sharks have been the more dominant team, as the Sharks have won 7 of the past 10 encounters, which includes winning 5 of the past 6 and 5 in a row. So the Dragons have not won since 2020. And it says right here that last time the Dragons won at Congra, or was known as Win Jubilee, back in 2016, where they beat the Sharks 32-18. Wow. But the Dragons have beaten the Sharks at Wynn Stadium in those couple encounters as well. So for this game, I can see it going either way, but I believe that. But despite recent encounters, I believe the Sharks will prevail in this one. I think Sharks will win this one good. They'll win by 6 points with a winning margin of 24-18. So the Sharks to win by 6. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude my round 4 NRL tipping video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and comment down below your tips who you think will win each game. Now, Dolphins and Broncos are definitely going to be the more interesting game out of all the other games this round. And if Titans beat the Cowboys, oh boy, Cowboys are going to be in a lot of trouble. And I wonder if the Tigers will manage to finally get their first win. Highly unlikely, but I'll shut up now. So, anyways, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. Now, I will be doing a Super League tipping video tomorrow, and I'll be doing the Rugby League Live 4 Round 4 content later on in the week as well. So don't forget to stay tuned for the vlog between the Rabbitohs and the Millie Warringah Sea Eagles. I'll be heading down to a core stadium for the first time in about 7 months or so. So I'll see you in the next video. So I've gone for every team 1 to 12 that I've picked this week. So first time I've gone 1 to 12 for each game. If any games go 13 plus, I'll be surprised. Honestly, this year has been amazing so far. Not many 13 plus games. But anyways, everyone, I'll see you in the next one. Alright, peace out.